a PPT. So let me just share it. So I hope my screen is now visible.
Yes, the screen is visible.
Okay. Okay, so as Dr. Rehan has rightly said that I'm here to talk about stress and why stress has been made an integral part of all the actual scheme. It's obvious that people are facing a lot of problems. They are facing a lot of stress, and as a result, there are implications as far as performance is concerned, as far as your behavior is concerned, and that is why I think it's important to deliberate on this concept because this is one of the concepts which has been widely uh, misused, abused terminology. So I think people should be aware of what stress actually is because the moment you understand the phenomena of stress, it's not that overburdening. So basically, in today's life, because of the changing circumstances, because of changing lifestyle and the fast-paced changes occurring in the society, we are under a lot of pressure, and that puts an individual under a lot of stress. Now, if you look around, I don't think you can come across anybody, whether the person is belonging to any socio-economic strata or the person is having a lot of resources at their hand. You cannot say the person is not suffering from stress because stress is an inevitable part of modern society. It's not that people never experience stress in olden times or yesteryears. They did face a lot of stress and pressure, but contemporary society is changing, and the way the structure of the family, the structure of the society is changing. We, as individuals, are bound to face that pressure all by ourselves, and that is, it is very daunting. Now, stress, as I told you, is part and parcel of our society, so we cannot ignore it. So it is here to say, so stay with us. And if we know how to tackle that stress, I think it will be beneficial for us. Because when I'll be discussing later on, stress is not always negative. That's how we perceive. Because the moment you say somebody is in stress or I am under stress, it is as if you are facing a negative phenomena. So stress is not always negative. I would like to start with this submission, and stress sometimes helps you achieve something which you never. But the way this concept has been understood in society, people are really very frightened, or they are like very disturbed the fact that they are under a lot of pressure. Now, despite the fact that, as I told you, everybody on a day-to-day basis, you might not be experiencing stress, but many of us are experiencing uh, stress on a day-to-day basis time because these are unusual times, and the type of behavior that you are used to in handling your day-to-day life, that has changed, and you are forced, in a way you are pushed against the wall where you have to change your habits, you have to change your lifestyle if you have to survive. So when survival is at stake, you are forced to change, and that is why it is becoming very stressful. Because had we had a choice, that we could change or we could live our life the way we were living, then it would have been stressful for some people, but it would not have been stressful for the entire world, so to say. So if we
Sorry for the interruption, ma'am. Your slides are not visible.
it's visible for me.
It's showing the black screen. If other participants can confirm that.
Yes, ma'am, it's not visible.
Yes, sir, it is black screen.
I can see it. Okay, let me
Please
share
share
it
it again. Otherwise, I think earlier it was there.
There is no slide, ma'am. Only black screen only we can see.
But I can see, so I just share it again. Now is it visible?
Yes, ma'am, it's visible now.
Okay.
It's visible.
Okay, thank you. So as I told you, is a part and parcel of today's contemporary world, and it is here to stay. So it's better if you can manage it in a manner that it works for you rather than it goes against you. But the problem is that since stress has been understood in a particular manner, people are really frightened or ashamed of admitting the fact that they are under stress, because unfortunately, especially in this part of the world, not in the Western world, because Western world has gained more information on mental issues, so they are comfortable with the fact that if they are under stress, they are going to accept it. But in our society, even today, there's a lot of stigma associated with mental illness or mental health. So people feel that if they are under stress, it is something which is a negative statement for their personality, because it signifies that they may be mentally ill. And as a result, they would like to hide the fact that they are feeling the pressure or they are feeling stressed.
Ma'am,
And
it's not in
sometimes you must
slideshow mode. Sorry for the interruption. Ma'am, slides are not in slideshow mode.
Yeah, I deliberately did not do it because I think changing the slide was being a problem. But
Okay,
Now
ma'am.
can
So
you see
that
it?
is fine. That is fine.
That is fine. That
Okay.
is fine.
Okay, let me just see if it doesn't work. I'll again revert back to the
Ma'am, it's
original.
working. It's working.
Okay. Okay. So I was telling you that there's a lot of stigma associated with mental illness. Now here I would like to digress from the topic and just discuss something about mental illness. Now, mental illness is as normal as the physical illness you face. So if you have some small physical issues, like you are suffering from fever, you are suffering from cold, if you ignore that, a time is going to come that it might get aggravated. So the same goes for stress also. If you are feeling a mild pressure due to some work in your professional world or in your personal work, and you ignore those small pressures, a time is going to come when the stress is going to become so big and so intense that ignoring it is going to have mental issues for you. So you should see stress and mental issues in the same framework as you see the physical illness. So if we can handle the stress, it is not going to lead to psychological problems. So this is something which we have to understand, that any psychological issues or any stress or any anxiety or any depression for that matter, a very small level of depression, anxiety or stress is very normal to have. Every individual has it, whether you are a very successful person or not a successful person. The way the society has been programmed, there are going to be demands coming on in your life. So you have to tackle those demands. You cannot ignore. But the fact that I'm not able to handle that demand should not be a statement on your weakness as a human being, or it should not be a stigma, because everything cannot be handled by everybody. Everybody has their own forte. So you can handle, somebody can handle engineering, somebody can handle psychology, somebody can handle physics, somebody can handle chemistry, and XYZ, you know. So we cannot do everything perfectly. We cannot be ideal in every field. So if I'm not able to handle, for example, the health issues right now, because of whatever reason, because I don't have the resources, I don't have a physically fit body. So you need not be shy of the fact that, okay, you are under stress, because it's but natural. If you are not prepared for it, you are going to feel the stress. Now, stress, as I told you, is a very abused, misused word, and that is why I've put a very simple definition over here. Stress basically, by definition, is nothing but a demand or a pressure which you are encountering in your day-to-day life. Now, if there is a pressure, for example, if you want to understand it in terms of physical pressure, if you are asked to carry something which is heavy, if you have the strength to carry that, you are not going to feel the pain or the pressure of carrying that burden. But if you are given an object which is very heavy and your body cannot carry it, then naturally you're going to feel the pain of it. So the same goes for stress. Stress is nothing but any demand in your life or any pressure in your life. If you are not able to handle that pressure or demand comfortably, then only you are going to feel stress. Otherwise, it is not going to be a source of stress for people. So how you look at the demand, how you look at the pressure, that is going to determine whether you are feeling stress or you are not feeling stress. So if you must have been seeing, because I think most of you are coming from the teaching background, you must be seeing, especially when the exams are about to come, students, whenever the schemes are declared, some students are very comfortable, some students are very worked up, some students are very disturbed. Depending upon the preparation that they have made for the upcoming examination, likewise, the groups of students are going to experience stress or they are not going to experience stress. So anybody who's prepared to handle it comfortably, for them, any pressure is not going to be stressful, but the same pressure might be stressful for another person who is not mentally prepared or physically prepared for that demand. So it's simply stated, it is a demand placed on you. Now, the best way is that you have to recognize, आपको accept करना पड़ेगा कि okay, there is a demand in my life and I'm not able to handle the demand. Because if you try to avoid or neglect it, it is going to aggravate the situation. Because होता क्या है कि जब हम छोटे छोटे demands को ignore करने लगते हैं, then these small demands are going to pile up, and then it is one day going. So it's better, जिसको कहते हैं, you have to nip it in the bud. जहाँ थोड़ी सी stress life में आई, आप उसको वहीं के वहीं अगर आप handle कर ले, उसको manage कर ले, or sometimes you'll be able to manage it very effectively. Sometimes you might not be able to manage effectively. That's perfectly all right. जिंदगी में हर चीज आपके हिसाब से नहीं होने वाली है. So if things are going your way, you are lucky. If things are not going your way, if you look at it in a positive way, you might, that same demand might be able to teach you something. So it's just the way you are appraising. An appraisal in a stressful situation is very important, because how I perceive the demand and how I interpret the demand, that is going to determine the type of responses that I'm going to make. So the perceptual appraisal of the demand is very important. Now, here I would like to take an example of a rubber band. Now, if there is a demand in your life and you are able to handle the demand, after handling the demand, you are not going to be under stress. You will be in your normal frame of mind. But if you are continuously living that stress, then it is going to have both psychological as well as physical implications. So if you look at a new rubber band, now if you stretch the rubber band, it is going to expand. That means the shape of the rubber band is going to get deformed. Basically, it is going to lose its original shape. But once you release it, it is going to come back to its original shape. Now, rubber band के साथ ये होता है कि आप उसको जितनी बार खींचेंगे और जितनी बार छोड़ेंगे, वो अपने original form में आ जाएगा. But after some time, when you start stretching that rubber band for say months and years, then it is going to lose its shape. And that is precisely what happens with the body also. So if you are handling a stress and dealing with it, then you are to come back to your normal frame of mind. But if you live that stress for a long period of time, then there are going to be wear and tear in your body. Either it is going to be a physical tear or either it's going to be a psychological tear. And I'll be discussing in the later slides what type of consequences, what type of consequences you have to bear if you are enduring stress on a consistent or in a very consistent manner, basically. जिसको आप कहते हैं chronic stress है. You are experiencing it on a day-to-day basis and it is not going away because you are not able to handle it. Because life में कभी-कभी कुछ ऐसे stresses होते हैं जो आप लाख कोशिश कर लें वो शायद आपके control से बाहर. For example, you are doing this course on environment. I think it's green space if I recall it. So if you're living in a city like Mumbai or Delhi and the environmental scene is very bad, despite the fact that you have all the resources, you're not going to confront the stressor. You're not going to change the stressor or come out of it because you cannot clean the air by yourself. You cannot clean the garbage by yourself. So there are some stressors in life which, despite the fact that you want to deal with it, manage it, but they are not going to go because it is too undaunting for you to handle it. It's beyond your capacity. So later on, I'll tell you what to do in that circumstances. Now, the main objective of stress management is to reduce. So I don't think there's anybody in this world who can say I am in a zero stress zone. That means I don't have any stress in my life. And if that person says that they don't have stress in their life, I think there's some really real problem with the person because it's not possible not to have stress. Because the only don't have stress is when you're lying in the ICU on all those support system and you're not doing anything. And praying that at least your monitor doesn't show us a straight line because the straight line shows that your body is not enduring any type of pressure, whether it is physical or psychological. So I don't think anybody would like to go into that phase. So we pray that we don't get into a no or a zero stress zone. So that means every individual has stress in his or her life. Now the question is, you should know how to reduce. And what you can reduce is you cannot make it zero. So you have to reduce the frequency, the number of stresses in your life, or the intensity of a particular stress. So stress management is all about reducing the frequency and the intensity of the stressor. And this can be done by either changing yourself or changing the environment. So it's in some circumstances, you can change yourself and deal with the stress, but in some circumstances, you do have the opportunity to change the environment and deal with the stress. Now, why people are concerned about stresses? Now, it has been empirically established and we all have experienced it in our life that stress is widely recognized as one of the factors which is a major reason for physical illness. And it is estimated that out of 4 people, 3 people who are visiting a physician, they are prompted by stress-related problems. So it is so rampant in society that every single person or every second person who is going to a doctor or visiting a physician or a psychiatrist or a counselor is suffering from a stress-related diseases. Because the leading health problem prior to this infectious diseases, in today's time, naturally, COVID is one of the major cause of health issue, and it is an infectious disease. But generally, most of the diseases which you see people are going to the doctors with, they were not infectious diseases, especially the cardiovascular diseases, cancers, diabetes, hypertension, and strokes, and other related diseases. They are not caused by, they are caused to a certain extent by the stresses that you are having in your life, the type of lifestyle that you are living. So these were supposed to be the determinant of these diseases were stress, and that is why it is a major cause of concern, because it is adding to the exchequer's money, because it's a strain on the exchequer's money, because you're losing a lot of money just because of stress related diseases. So if we can manage it, at least we can save that portion for some other work. So most importantly, basically these diseases are in part attributed to the individual's behavior and lifestyle, and all of these gets linked to the stress. Now, since I have done my research work in environmental psychology, I would like to tell you how it gets linked to my behavior. Now, if you look at your lifestyle, thanks to the postmodernism, or whatever you can say, the economic policies that has been unleashed in our society, we all are getting used to certain comfortable styles. We all have ACs in our homes. We have fridge, refrigerator, all the gadgets in our home. We have it, and I think if you go and do the survey, especially amongst middle class and upper middle class, you won't find a single house where you might not come across two vehicles, either two cars or two motorbikes. So these are lifestyles which are causing the environment, I mean, it is impacting the environment in a negative manner, and the environment is that we are having to face those health issues, and these are lifestyle problems which we are facing. So it is causing a stress. So whether it is an environmental stressor, whether it is social stressor, or your personal or your work-related pressures, these are adding on to your stress level. Now, when you encounter extreme amount of stress, it has a toll on your emotions, because as a human being, we have our own capacities to deal with stress, but when it goes beyond that capacity, we do have to face certain consequences. And generally, you see, especially those people who are living in very crowded areas, people who are living in metropolitan cities, where there are crowds on the streets, crowds on the building, crowds in the escalators, crowds in the market or your malls. So people are asked to handle stimulation on a day-to-day basis. So you see many people react in an emotion which normally they would not have. So you will find people getting irritated, people getting aggressive, people sometimes are withdrawing from that crowded situation because they cannot handle that stimulation. So there are emotional consequences and there are behavioral consequences. Now, if you encounter mild episodes of stress, then your body itself, just like your physical immune system, your psychological immune system also is able to handle that stress at the physical level as well as the psychological level. And because your body also has its natural defense mechanism, which will help you to adapt to the changing circumstances or the situation. But the problem arises when you encounter intense level of stress, which we refer to as excessive chronic stress. And if it is if you're exposed to chronic stress on a constant basis and it persists over an extended period of time, then it is bound to have psychological and physical harm. Just like the rubber band, if you go on stretching it for a long period of time, then no matter where you have bought that rubber and the quality of the rubber band may be ensured, but it is going to lose its shape and a time is going to come where the rubber band is going to break. But here the human body is not going to break, but it just collapses. Sometimes your physical system just caves in, or your psychological apparatus just goes out of your control, because it is beyond its capacity to handle that level of stress on a day-to-day basis. So it has psychological as well as physical consequences, and that is where it is accounting for the health issues which people are facing due to stress. Now, how does I have listed just to give you a feel of how does stress influence your psychological functioning, and later I will discuss how it influences our physiological functions also. Now, if you have observed yourself, I'm sure whenever you have encountered stressful situations, stress can impact both your psychology as well as your physiology. And since both the things are related to each other, we cannot afford to ignore either the psychological functioning or the physiological functioning. Unfortunately, a lot has been emphasized on the physiological functioning. Even to a certain extent, health was defined as physical fitness, and people were only concerned about the balanced or the normal functioning of the physiological body, because your health system was catering to the normal physiological functioning of the human body. But now when you see, people might be having the best doctors, the best medicines available, but if you are but still you are not getting cured, because somewhere you have not taken care of your psychological functioning, because both the things are related and they have to be tackled. Otherwise, just catering to one and ignoring the other might not work for you. And as a result, when you are trying to see stress only as a psychological phenomena and not as a physiological phenomena, you have a tendency to ignore it. So I will be discussing both the aspects so you appreciate that if you have stress, don't ignore it because it has physiological consequences also. So one of the consequences you encounter when you are facing stress is this, an impairment at the cognitive level. जब भी आप स्ट्रेस में होते हैं, आप देखते होंगे कि आप या तो सही से सोच नहीं पाते, या your reasoning gets affected, your mental functioning is not as efficient, as effective as it used to be. You may be becoming mentally tired very easily because your energy is being sapped by the stress that you are experiencing. So as far as students is concerned, or as far as we also are concerned, we might sit with something hour for hours, but still we might not register what we have been reading, what we were trying to learn, what we are trying to grasp, because our cognitive functioning are impaired due to the stress level, because stress is a state of arousal for an individual. So that state of arousal negatively impacts my cognitive functioning. And one of the cognitive functioning that is getting impaired is memory. Especially during stressful conditions, you may be facing a lot of difficulty in recalling material that is stored in your memory. Now, if you're not able to recall material which you have stored in your memory, it doesn't mean that you have forgotten it. But the problem is that you are in such a state of arousal, the energy level is blocking that recall from the place where you have stored your memory or they stored the information. Now, कभी आप लाइफ में भी वैसे भी रोजमर्रा की जिंदगी में भी देखें, जब कभी आप बहुत स्ट्रेसफुल सिचुएशन में होते हैं और आपने कोई नॉर्मल सी चीज उठाई और एक जगह रख दी, and then you go on trying to locate that. Sometimes people are seen trying to locate their glasses when they are wearing the glasses on their head, because they are so much under pressure, so much under stress, that even small activity which you do without even thinking about it, you have to make an effort. So if you have the information stored in your memory, but you are under a lot of stress, then recalling it or from your memory is a huge task. And sometimes, even if you spend hours trying to recall that information, you might not be able to recall because of the stress level that you're experiencing. Another cognitive functioning that gets impaired is that you become very indecisive. जनरली देखिएगा, जब आप स्ट्रेसफुल टाइम में होते हैं, जब जो डिसीजन आप 5 मिनट में या 10 मिनट में या आधा घंटा में ले लेते हैं, वो डिसीजन आप शायद हफ्ते में भी नहीं ले पाते. यू आर वेरी इनडिसाइसिव वेदर यू शुड डू दिस, not do this. So in that dilly-dally moment, sometimes you just are not able to take a simple decision. Because of that indecisiveness, you do get into problem, or you are not able to perform your task, or you are not able to achieve simple activities which you could have easily performed because you know how to do it. But just because you are not able to take the right decision at the right time and you lack objectivity, so sometimes you end up making the wrong decision, or you end up engaging in some very poor problem solving strategies. Just to give you an example, I think everybody must have encountered this in your childhood or sometimes or the other. And if you have not encountered this, watch out. In your family, a child must have encountered this problem. When somebody locks himself or herself in a room and they push the door towards the wrong side. So you can simply pull the door towards yourself and open it. But when you get locked and you are under that stress of being locked out and there's nobody in the house, and वो स्ट्रेस आपके ऊपर इतना हावी हो जाता है कि जो सिंपल सा दरवाजा आप अपनी तरफ खोल के बाहर निकल सकते हैं, उसको आप अपनी तरफ ना खींच के बार बार उसको बाहर की तरफ खींचते हैं, एंड उससे क्या होता है कि जब आपको लगता है कि वो दरवाजा खुल नहीं रहा है and you might not be able to get out, it adds on to that stress level. So very simple activity sometimes gets aggravated just because you are not able to take the right decision or you lack the clarity of solving that problem. The problem may be a very small problem, but due to that heightened state of arousal, you are not able to perform the right activity, and as a result you get anxiety pangs, or you might get a very traumatic experience. Sometimes people collapse just because of the fact that they have encountered circumstances which they have not handled, but when they realize what they did, they might realize that it was a very silly mistake that they were making. Now, another very important aspect which gets affected by stress is your emotions. Now, it's very normal to experience certain emotions, but the regulation part of emotion is what makes it healthy or unhealthy. So the emotional regulation gets affected by stress. Now, if you have seen yourself, observe yourself or observe other people, whenever they are in stressful situation, they do give certain emotional reactions which you might not be able to explain. आपको लगेगा कि किसी इंसान ने ऐसे क्यों behave किया? Because for you, you don't understand that this person is undergoing stress. Either the person is going to be very short-tempered, very aggressive, very irritable. क्योंकि जो immediate environment में है, आपको कोई चीज ऐसी नहीं नजर आ रही होगी जिसकी वजह से वो इंसान इतना short-tempered behave. But for that person, the person may be under a lot of stress. So how you behave, there is always a reason how you are behaving. So when you are expressing emotion or regulating an emotion which is not going with the circumstances or not going with the situation, that means somewhere that may not be visible to the observer, but it is visible or it is a reality for the individual. And as a result, the person is behaving in one way or another way. So emotion regulation gets very badly affected, especially the regulation of negative emotions. Now, I'm not saying the positive emotions don't get affected, because sometimes you must have seen people under stress, they just laugh and beyond explanation. So it may be a manic response, or it may be a response. Depressive response may people just withdraw in themselves, they become very quiet. In a manic phase, they are very talkative, or they are just laughing at the very loudly. So both the emotions, but generally it is the negative emotions which is very problematic as far as regulation is concerned. Now, another common reaction which we have observed in stress is anxiety. Now, anxiety is also a very common reaction to experience, but anxiety basically is an apprehension of fear due to certain uncertainties in your life, and as a result, you feel very helpless. Now, when there is a reason to be anxious or fearful, it's perfectly all right. But if there is no reason, sometimes you must have come across a person or your child or yourself where you have that very low feeling, you're feeling very nervous, you're feeling very anxious, but you cannot pinpoint what is the cause of that anxiety. So sometimes you know that, okay, I have to appear for an exam, I have to appear for an interview, I have to go for competitive examination, and as a result, I'm fearful. Or maybe there's a problem in the family and you really don't know how it's going to pan out. So you are, it might not go your way, and as a result, you have that apprehension. But sometimes what happens is that you may not be having a real reason for it, but still you feel very apprehensive. और कभी आप देखेंगे ऐसा होता है लाइफ में कि कोई वजह नहीं होती, फिर भी आपकी एक गट फीलिंग, वेरी लो फीलिंग होती है, and you feel very low, sap, and you feel as if nothing is going to work your way. There is a sense of helplessness, and these lead to physiological disorders. Generally आप देखेंगे जब आप बहुत लंबे समय तक या लंबे अरसे तक anxious या anxiety feel करते हैं, you end up having a stomach upset, or you end up having a migraine, because that has physiological implication and that also has a psychological implication. Now, when there's an extended period of repressed severe anxiety, it can also result in psychoneurotic patterns. And there's something called psychosomatic disorders or anxiety disorders. Now, anxiety disorders are where you can have panic disorders just because of an event which may not be very severe or very negative, but that event triggers a panic attack in you. Or psychosomatic disorders are where you don't have the actual cause for the physical disease, but as a person you can experience, so for example, like sometimes you have rashes and you go get the rashes checked by your physician or get a test done, nothing comes out, but the rashes are real and it itches also. So these are psychosomatic disorders which you may encounter due to a severe experience of stress over a prolonged period. Now, mood-related changes are common in stressful situations, and many people become irritable and short-tempered, and I've already discussed that, and they don't have any control over emotions. So it's not that they want to be short-tempered or they want to be aggressive or they want to be irritable in their behavior, but it so appears that they lose control on how they are behaving. So just because of the lack of emotional control, they exhibit these behaviors in their interpersonal relationship, in their day-to-day life. Now, when you are under stress, I am sure you must have observed these things. You are unable to relax, and hence you get tense very quickly. You are not able to even enjoy positive things around you. So you may be having something in your family, or you may be watching a very hilarious movie or something on the television, but still you are not able to enjoy because you are so tense that you are in that state of charged state or aroused state, and as a result your sense organs are all like activated, so you are not able to enjoy even small things which may be very positive. Things, they make you very nervous, and sometimes, as I told you, some people are when they encounter stressful situation, they do withdraw in themselves, so they may be feeling very lonely or sad, and they may be, so they don't have, as I told you, they don't have control over the emotions. So sometimes they might be feeling very happy, sometimes they might be feeling very sad, and the swing may be very frequently, or the swing may be for 2 days you are experiencing very normal emotions, and for 2 days it's just not working your way. So the pattern may be different for different people. But when you are under severe chronic stress, I'm not saying always you are going to experience mood swings, but you do encounter these mood changes very frequently when you are under stressful situation. Now, in this slide, I'm going to discuss how it affects your physiological functioning, and I hope you appreciate this, because this is what is going to make you understand that it's important to deal with the stress at the right time. Now, when we encounter a pressure in life, demand, and I told you stress is nothing but a demand or pressure which you were not used to handling, but now since it is in your life, you have to handle it. So for the body, it is an emergency-like situation, which requires immediate action. जैसे आप मेडिकल कॉलेज में किसी को इमरजेंसी लेके जाते हैं, तो अगर वैसे कोई नॉर्मल बीमारी लेके जाएंगे तो शायद डॉक्टर्स आपको इतनी तवज्जो नहीं देंगे. But the moment you land up in an emergency, the doctors know that it is a life-saving situation. So they have to pool their resources to help that person. So the same goes for the stress also. Whenever we encounter a demand, which is a strong demand, or it's a pressure is a strong pressure, then body gives a signal to the brain, and the brain interprets it as an emergency. Now, when there is an emergency, it requires emergency-like responses. Now, the body has to be prepared so that it can cope with the situation. And we refer to this situation as a fight or flight response. Now, suppose you encounter danger, and that is really dangerous to your life. You cannot fight that danger. You are stressed. Suppose you encounter wild animal, or you encounter a fire in your house. Now you cannot douse the fire, so you have to run from that. Your body is going to give you a signal that you have to avoid the situation, so that is known as a flight reaction. But sometimes it's not that intense, but there is a demand, so you have to meet the demand, so you have to fight the demand. Now, in your normal functioning of the body, you might not be able to meet the demand because it is an emergency-like situation. So your body has to do something extra in order to handle that situation. Generally, आप देखेंगे जब आप stressful situations को handle करते हैं, चाहे वो एक दिन handle करें या 2 या 3 दिन के बाद, आप थोड़ा सा like you depending upon the nature of the stress and the intensity of the stress, you feel very sapped. That means your energy level goes very low and you feel very lethargic or drained off. Because when you are in an emergency-like situation, your body is using all its energy to deal with the situation. Because the first priority of the body is to save you somehow. You save your psychological apparatus or save your physiological apparatus. So it is going to engage in certain functions so that you can be helped out from that stressful or emergency-like situation. Now, I'm sure when you get into a stressful situation, everybody must have experienced certain very common physiological reactions. Either you must have experienced headache, you must have experienced muscle aches, especially your muscles in your neck, the back of your neck region. That is the first indicator where you get, okay, you are under pressure now, because that muscle is so sensitive. It is going to give you an indication that, okay, now you need to handle the stress. Either you have to avoid the circumstances or you have to deal with it. Because अगर आप उस जो आपका body signals देता है, अगर आप उसको ignore करेंगे, then आप देखेंगे कभी कभी आपको sinus हो जाएगा या आपको backache होने लगेगा. Sometimes some people have arthritis, and arthritis generally is seen that when you encounter a lot of stress in your life, you might end up having arthritis or joint pains. Or sometimes you experience increased blood pressure, a loss of appetite. And the first indication when you encounter a stressful situation is that your mouth goes dry. And sometimes you experience excessive sweating. Now, why are you experiencing all these things? Because there are certain physiological changes that are taking place in your body. Now, in your body, your endocrine system basically gets very activated, and your sympathetic nervous system gets activated. These two things, they basically try to prepare the body to fight the emergency-like situation. Now, there are very, very complex body and biochemical changes taking place in the body, and I'm sure everybody must have come across a term known as adrenaline, which is a stress hormone. So adrenaline is being released in your body. Now, when your body is being prepared to handle that stressful situation, there are certain mechanisms which are getting activated. For example, your endocrine system starts overactivating. It's like working too much than required. your nervous systems, especially the sympathetic nervous system, and your brain region also gets activated because brain has to interpret that it is an emergency-like situation. Now, there are two systems in the body. One is going to get activated, the other is going to go slow down. So those functions of the body which requires a lot of energy consumption, especially those functions which are required, the digestive functions basically. Digestive, when you have to digest your food, basically a lot of energy is required to burn the food that you are eating. So that energy is diverted towards the emergency-like situation. So one of the common responses that you may have encountered, whenever you are under stress, your body's metabolism basically gets affected and your stomach either is upset or you have loose motions because your metabolic systems are not working very properly. The energy required to break the food particles has been diverted so that your body can handle the stressful situation. Now, where the energy is being diverted, it is diverted towards increasing your heart rate. So another response that you might be experiencing is your blood pressure is increasing and your heart rate increases because heart is pumping that extra blood breathing because the energy is required to handle that situation. Now, why do you have a dry mouth when you encounter stress is that because when your saliva dries in your mouth, it increases the passage of for air to get into your lungs. And कभी-कभी आपने देखा होगा जब स्ट्रेसफुल सिचुएशन में होती है तो आप बहुत लंबे-लंबे गास्प्स लेते हैं breathing के because your body requires that extra oxygen. And as a result, your air passage has to increase to accommodate for the increased flow of air into your lungs. Another very natural hormone that gets secreted is a painkiller known as endorphin. That stressful situation and your body is dealing for a long period of time, it's bound to be feeling very lethargic or bound to feel the pain of enduring that stress for a long period of time. So your body also has a painkiller known as endorphin which gets secreted. Now, if that endorphin is not sufficient, then you take some medicine from outside to deal with that pain of yours. So body has its own mechanism, but when the stress goes beyond that mechanism, then you have to take external pills or medicines to deal with that particular situation. Now your spleen also has to release more red blood cells because red blood cells का काम होता है oxygen carry करना body के हर part पे. And bone marrow produces more white blood corpuscles because white blood corpuscles helps to fight infection. Now, if you see the type of reactions that are taking place in your body, this, if it goes on for a long period of time, then it is body that it is going to corrode your body or either it is going to tear certain aspects of your functioning. For example, many people must have encountered or must have seen people in their families or in their friend circle. People, because of intense experience of stress for a prolonged period of time, they might be suffering from a weak, maybe some problem kidney. They might be suffering from diabetes because the insulin goes either too low or too high because your hormones are affecting the secretion in that particular endocrine gland. So your adrenal gland, your pituitary gland, all your glands start secreting. Now we all know that our body requires only a little bit of hormone for proper functioning or healthy functioning of the body. When so much of these hormones and these processes are being unleashed in the body has to handle it. And if it is not able to release that energy, it is going to work on your own system itself. And that is why it is not only a psychological phenomenon where you are experiencing psychological repercussions due to stress. Stress also is affecting the physiological functioning of your body. And when this physiological functioning becomes so damaging to the body, you do have physical illnesses. And as a result, you must be hearing people that they have big, problems like diabetes, they have problems like cancer, even they have sometimes the kidney doesn't perform well, sometimes the pancreas doesn't perform well, or sometimes even it gets destroyed because these hormones are working on those organs, and as a result they are getting affected. So essential that you have to handle the stress so that it doesn't affect your physiology, because once your physiology is going to be damaged, it is going to affect your psychology again. So it's like a vicious circle which is getting formed. Now, since stress leads to intense physiological arousal, if it is prolonged for a long period of time, it has harmful effect, and it reduces the person's ability to resist the stressor and fight infection and disease producing agents. So especially अगर आप आज के दौर में देखें, everybody is trying to advise you to boost up your immunity. So if you see the body is working in an overproductive mode, it is going to consume all the energy, and it is but natural that the immunity system is going to go weak. So chances are high that you will be more susceptible to even small diseases in your vicinity. So people who get more sick during stress, because body resources have been used in the stressful situation. So the immunity system also gets weak, and you have higher chances of catching infection. Now, how to effectively manage the stress that you are experiencing? If you look at the stress management strategies, or the strategies which people have been using for a long period of time, you see that if you take 3 things into consideration, you might be able to come up with a very effective strategy. One, it is the context in which the person is located. एक स्ट्रेसर जो आज आपको प्रॉब्लम क्रिएट कर रहा है, जरूरी नहीं है कि 6 महीने बाद भी प्रॉब्लम क्रिएट करेगा. So just the space and the time in which you are located, that is also a very important factor to consider. Because कभी सुना लोगों को कहते कि अपने जमाने में मैंने तो ये चीज बहुत अच्छे से हैंडल कर ली थी, and then you have to convince आपके जमाने में ऐसा रहा होगा, but now things have changed. The context has changed, so the same behavior which they might have used to handle their stress is not working right now. So the context is very important. Then the nature of the problem also has to be taken into consideration. हर pressure, हर demand एक जैसा नहीं होता. The nature of the demand is going to change, and the person who is encountering that demand, his or her perception of the demand also determines how they are going to see those pressures. So the nature of the problem, and the third very important thing is availability of resources. Now, when I'm saying resources, we think about economic resources, the money part of it. Yes, money is important, because if God forbid you suffer from any serious illness, you do require the money to get the best treatment available. But here, resources also means the psychological resources and the social resources. Now, by psychological resources, I mean that some people are mentally very strong. So for them, they can encounter very severe, very intense stress, but nothing happens to them. And आपने देखा होगा where sometimes, especially in this pandemic, आपने देखा होगा people who are migrant laborers going from one place to another just simply by walking, they did survive those stressful times, because mentally they were very strong. Physically, they might not have been very strong. Economically, they were not really strong, because we all saw they were very poor people. but psychologically they were very strong. They wanted to go to their places and they were determined to go to their places, despite the fact that they might be 1,000 kilometers from the place from where they started their journey. So psychological resources is also important. And lastly, they might have been very optimistic type of people. They were not pessimistic type of people. And the social resources are also important. People around you, whether they are ready to help with their support, not only money, but their social support or emotional support, that is also important. So when you take these three things into consideration, the context, the nature of the problem, and the availability of resources, and you do your that helps you in making the right behavior or the right strategy to manage with this stressful situation. And generally, you are able to handle it in a very effective and efficient manner. I told you when we are under stressful situation, it has emotional consequences. So the best way to deal with stress is by emotional awareness. Now, the problem is that, unfortunately, or maybe you people are aware of your emotions, we have never connected with ourselves the way we have connected with other people. So we are very comfortable in connecting with other people. We are very comfortable in talking about the emotions of other people, but very few people have that sensitivity to connect with their emotions. So you are not aware of the moment to moment awareness of your emotions and how they influence your thoughts and your actions. तो जिस तरह के mental frame of mind में रहते हैं, especially as far as emotion is concerned. To tell you in a very simple language, लोग कहते हैं ना कि जब आप खुश होते हैं दुनिया आपको खुश नजर आती है, जब आप sad होते हैं तो दुनिया आपको sad नजर आती है. So it's just like that. Your emotional state influences your thought and it influences your actions. So if you are aware of your emotions, then you will be able to control your emotions because you know it is going to have a series of change in your thought process, and it is going to affect your behavior, which is going to have implications for your life as far as your interpersonal life is concerned, as far as your social life or your professional life is concerned. So the key to understanding your emotion is to remain calm and focused in tense situations with others. If you get very tense and you ignore your emotions, as I previously told you, you might end up making the wrong decisions, making the wrong strategies, using the wrong strategies, sorry. So it is very essential to be aware of your emotions. And another thing which is very essential is realize when you are under stress. Just observe how your body reacts when it encounters pressure or when there's a demand coming your way which you are not prepared for. Generally, आपकी body कहीं ना कहीं कोई signal आपको देगी. Either your muscles start getting tight or your breathing pattern is changing. So you should observe changes which is taking place. Because होता क्या है हम लोग उसको नजरअंदाज कर देते हैं और नजरअंदाज इस लेवल तक करते हैं कि वो इतनी ज्यादा बढ़ जाता है and then we start taking all the precautions and sometimes it becomes too late when you start taking the precautions. So try to observe your body whenever you enter a stressful situation, your body is going to react. So observe your reactions. And when you observe your reactions, especially the body's reaction, because as I told you, whenever you are going to experience or encounter stress, there are going to be physiological changes in your body. Either it is going to be very intense physiological changes or very mild physiological changes, which we can feel. Whether your heartbeat has just increased, whether you have perspirations on your forehead or your palms are getting sweaty, or there's a tightness in your, especially those muscles which are very sensitive muscles, especially the neck region area where you will get that signal. So if you encounter those changes in your body, try to identify your stress response. अगर आप अपने आप को ऑब्जर्व करेंगे तो आपको अपने ही लाइफ में अपने ही बिहेवियर में एक पैटर्न नजर आएगा. सो व्हेन यू आर आइडेंटिफाइंग कि जब आप स्ट्रेसफुल सिचुएशन में जाते हैं तो कौन सा रिस्पॉन्स आप ज्यादा engage करते हैं या indulge करते हैं या express करते हैं. So some of the common responses or some common reactions basically are people might feel very angry, they might express irritation, or they might feel very depressed and withdrawn. These are some of the reactions, not all the reactions, because every individual is unique, so you might be giving different types of responses. Like I was, as I told you, I did my study on environment, and I was collecting my data in the slums of Delhi. And what happened is that when we as researchers get into an environment, we have our own thinking, we have our own biases. So when I was asking those poor people, how do you cope with your stressful situations? One of them, or many of them said, when after I come home from my work, I drink. So that was an eye opener, because we never thought that drinking alcohol can be a stress management strategy. But people, they use it, so there may be very different reactions in people. So observe what type of reactions you are giving, or what type of reactions you engage in when you are in a stressful like situation. Another very simple one in handling stress is use humor to deal with the challenges of the stressful situation in your life. Because what humor or laughter does is that it lightens your burden and helps you to keep things in perspective. If you have a good laugh, it reduces stress, elevates your mood, and it brings back your nervous system into balance. And यहाँ पे मैं आपको इस pandemic के दौरान, I'm sure you must have encountered this. जब शुरू में everybody was locked in their homes, and people did not know what to do. Many of them, they were making very hilarious videos and posting to friends. And sometimes you might have encountered that you are laughing at the top of your voice, even if though you are all alone. And जब आप उस ह्यूमरस वीडियो को देख रहे थे, तो आपको उस जो स्ट्रेस पैंडेमिक की वजह से हो रहा था उसके बारे में आप नहीं सोच रहे थे. So basically it helps you divert your attention to a very neutral thing, and basically it helps to change your mood. And when your mood changes, you can see things into perspective. So जब आप stressful situation में होते हैं और stressed out होते हैं, then very normal things might appear very daunting. So when you change your perspective, जो चीज आपको बहुत मुश्किल लग रही थी, वो शायद उतनी मुश्किल नहीं लगेगी, especially with a changed mood. So when you allow to view your frustrations and disappointments from a new perspective, laughter may play a very important role to help you survive hard times, setbacks, or annoyances in your life. हम इसको तवज्जो नहीं देते, but you can experience it, or you can use it and see it for yourself. If you can laugh at your problems, it has a tendency to lighten things for you. So when you loosen up, you free yourself of rigid ways of thinking, you allow yourself more to get more creative and see things in a new perspective. So when we were locked down in the pandemic, basically we thought that we are going to get bored, but most of you must have picked up your hobbies. You might have done things in a new way, or come up with creative things or creative ways of doing things. So because जब तक आप stress zone में रहे होंगे, तब तक आपने कुछ नहीं किया होगा. You're all the time fearing your life. But when we loosened up a little bit, then we could do very creative things. And I'm sure you must have encountered very creative things people did during this stressful times. Another very important mechanism which helps in handling your stress is social support. A social support refers to the network of people who are around you, because different types of people can give you different types of support. So the more diverse the support around you, the more you are in a very healthy situation or positive situation for yourself, because you can use those resources. People are better able to avoid illness related to stress when they are able to interact with other people rather than bottled up and isolated. Because you are all isolated, you are going to think about the problem all the time, and the problem is going to affect your mental faculties. So when you talk it out with other people, it's just like a catharsis which is taking place. The energy that is building up in your body gets released. And by social support, we means, and you should not wait for others to make the first move to help out. And sometimes we do have that problem. We don't seek social support. So try to seek social support before it's late. Because what social support does is that it acts as a buffer at two levels. It acts as a buffer between the stressful event and the stressful reaction, and between the experience and the pathological outcomes that you might encounter if you don't have the support system. And there's a lot of study in psychology which has established that people, if they are suffering or undergoing treatment, if they have social support, the recovery is much faster compared to those people who don't have those social support, especially elderly people, if they don't have their families giving them emotional support. So social support is not only support where you can get some tangible resources from those people. Just by being with them, or just by, even if you're not with those people, especially in this stressful situation, your technology was very handy. People might be isolated and locked down, but they were so much connected with people that just the very fact that you are connected with your dear ones and near ones through your smartphones, that was a big social support in this testing time. So it was acting as a buffer in the stressful situation. Now, these are some of the specific coping strategies I have listed, and I'm very sure you must have come across these things somewhere when you are reading, because nowadays a lot of literature is available on the net and everywhere. Now, when you are encountering a stress, as I told you, it is a stressful situation, or it's an emergency-like situation, और emergency में वही चीज पे तवज्जो देना चाहिए, उसी चीज पे focus करना चाहिए जो सबसे ज़्यादा important है, ना कि everything. So if you try to do everything at the same point of time, it requires division of resources, division of your attention. So you might end up not achieving anything. So especially in stressful situation, do one thing at a time and try to prioritize what is more important for you. So the priority number one right now is, especially during the pandemic, the priority was survival. So survival had to be addressed first, and then comes the other priorities. So if you are going to ignore the most important priority, you might end up paying a cost for it. So try to prioritize your activities and do one thing at a time. Do not always try to control things, because as I told you, some things are beyond our control. And if things are beyond your control, accept the fact that it cannot be changed. It's just like दीवार से सिर टकराने से कोई कुछ हासिल नहीं होने वाला. So you have to change strategy. Don't panic that you are not able to handle something, because some things are beyond your control. The death of somebody is beyond your control. Or for that matter, like suffering from a disease is beyond control. The only thing you can manage is how you are handling it. But when we try to control things and it is beyond our control, then again it is going to have consequences for you, and it may be a health consequences for you. Try to think positive, because as I told you in the beginning itself, it is very normal to be under stress. There's nothing abnormal about it. Every individual, every human being, I'm not sure about the animal kingdom, but I am sure they also go through those stressful period. So it is very natural to be stressful. Accept things that cannot be changed and try to adapt to circumstances. Now, ये चीज आपने बहुत बार सुनी होगी कि जो पेड़ किसी तूफान में फ्लेक्सिबल होते हैं और बेंड करते हैं हवा की झोंके की डायरेक्शंस के हिसाब से, वो सर्वाइव ज्यादा करते हैं कंपेयर टू दोस प्लांट्स व्हिच आर वेरी रिजिड. दे माइट बी द स्ट्रॉन्गेस्ट प्लांट, एंड जनरली आपने देखा होगा जब तूफान आते हैं तो नीम के पेड़ या आम के पेड़ दरख्त ज्यादा गिरते हैं, बिकॉज डिस्पाइट द फैक्ट दैट दे आर वेरी स्ट्रॉन्ग, दे आर नॉट फ्लेक्सिबल. So try to adapt to circumstances. Try to adapt to changing circumstances, because change demands a new circumstances demands change. So try to be flexible. Especially अगर आप इस दौर में देखेंगे, I'm sure many of you must have adapted, especially the ladies. You must have adapted to doing the household chores which your help was managing for you, and whether you have enjoyed it or not, but you have adapted to the circumstances. So you couldn't afford to say, no, I'm not going to do it, and you are not going to cook and end up not eating and dying. It is a testing time, but you had to do those things because it was a requirement, and you cannot afford to ignore those requirements. Now express and share your feeling, don't bottle it up, because this is where the society is moving. As we are moving towards a society where people are becoming more closed, you are requiring more counselors, because initially if you talk with your parents or your grandparents, they never required counselors, they never required psychiatrists, because they had the extended family and they could share anything with them. So they could release their bottled up feeling. And it's not only negative feelings, it's also if you have something positive, you share with them and you feel good about it. And if you have something sad to share, is meditation. Now, meditation and exercise also has a very calming effect. So if you are in a stressful situation and you are feeling pain in your muscles and in your neck region or in your joints, one way of alleviating that pain is through meditation, doing meditation. What meditation basically is doing is it is calming your nervous system, because in stress, your nervous system also gets activated, so it has to be calmed down. So meditation may help, praying helps, meditation helps, exercise also helps in handling the situation. Now, another very interesting thing is visual imagery. Now, what visual imagery does is that, and I'm sure ये चीज आपने especially इस pandemic में किया होगा, because we all have had our shares of old photographs coming our way on the WhatsApp, where people have pulled out the old albums and they tried to see those old pictures, the black and whites and those pictures. Now, pictures are not just a replica of you on paper. It has a lot of memory associated with it. So when you see those old pictures or old photographs which had been taken when you had gone on a vacation to some destination, it brings back those memories which may have been very positive. So when we are imagining something which we are not at the moment encountering it, but in our imagination we are seeing those beautiful images, it has that calming effect on you because it brings back those positive memories and you feel good about it. Another thing is cognitive restructuring. Now, cognitive restructuring is you have to see the situation in such a manner that what appears to be very negative appears in a very positive frame of mind. Now, एक चीज आमतौर से सुना होगा कि लोग जब आप किसी प्रॉब्लम में फंसते हैं तो हमेशा आपको थोड़ा सा काम डाउन करने के लिए या आपको सिंपथाइज करने के लिए ये कहते हैं कि there might be a problem in your life because it has come to for a good reason. So that is to be negative may turn out to be positive. And let me tell you, jitna aap stressful situation ko cognitively reframe ke aur jitna positively dekhenge, you might encounter something in your life which may come out to be the strength of you later on. And आप ये अपने ऊपर गौर करके इसको like observe कर सकते हैं, इसको अपने आप को analyze कर सकते हैं. जब life एकदम smooth चलती है, then you don't do anything extraordinary. But when you encounter problems or stressful situations in your life, you might have ended up doing things which you never thought you would be able to manage it. So when you encounter some certain situation and try to interpret it in a very positive manner or take it in a positive way, then it works for you. And there's a saying by one of the psychologists who says frustration with hope is one of the most constructive thing to happen in your life, but frustration without hope is one of the most destructive thing to happen. it is that hope, that positivity that is going to help you come out of the stressful situation as a much confident, as a much stronger person compared to what you were before encountering that stressful situation. Now, another very easy one is negative thought stopping, because generally लोग कहते हैं कि जो लोग, and we also experience the same thing, when you are in a stressful situation, your sleeping patterns get disturbed. स्पेशली रात में आपको नींद नहीं आती बिकॉज कोई ना कोई थॉट, नेगेटिव थॉट या स्ट्रेसफुल, जिस चीज से स्ट्रेस आपके दिमाग में रिप्ले होता रहता है. So what you have to do, you have to simply stop it. Now, how to stop it is just like an auto suggestion. Simply say stop, and you have to say it very loudly to yourself, and sometimes it works for you that it stops the thought process. Or another thing you can do is you try to think about something which is very neutral, or start doing something. Generally लोग कहते हैं ना कि आप नॉवल पढ़ लीजिए या कोई चीज पढ़ लीजिए तो आपको नींद आ जाएगी. What they are trying to say is कि आपके जहन को जो चीज परेशान कर रही है उसे हटा के अगर आप एक न्यूट्रल एरिया में ले आएंगे तो your nerves are going to be relaxing, and as a result you might go off to sleep. So that is what negative thought stopping is all about. And yes, stop comparing yourself, your journey with another person. Compare a fish with a monkey and judge them on the basis of climbing, because the fish cannot climb despite the fact it might be very efficient swimmer, and the monkey cannot swim. So everybody has their own journey. Try to enjoy your journey and try not to compare, because जहां हमारा comparison शुरू होता है वहीं पे हमारे stress responses शुरू होते हैं. वो इंसान हमसे आगे निकल गया, उस इंसान के पास ये है, मेरे पास ये नहीं है, all that stuff. So comparison sometimes unnecessarily puts you in a stressful situation. And the next I've already discussed, and the last one is the role reversal. Now, especially in an interpersonal situation, कभी-कभी आपके फैमिली में किसी से आपको कुछ अनबन हो जाती है, उसकी वजह से आपको स्ट्रेस होता है, because you don't get along, or two people are saying two different things. Now, in this circumstances, you can use this exercise, and it is very effective. Try to use a role reversal, especially when there's a child and a parent involved. The child is saying something and you are getting angry, and because you feel that the child is not understanding what you're saying, just try to get into the child's role and put the child in your role, and then try to see. And sometimes you do see a perspective which you never thought, because you are seeing it from a higher pedestal, especially in a parent-child relationship, boss-worker relationship, because the boss has his own perspective. He's not able to see the point of view of his subordinates. So if he or she can take the position of the subordinate and reverse the role, you can see things in a new faculty development program on the environment. So I included this slide where you can use the environment also to reduce your stress. And this is a very common experience which you must have had, where visiting green spaces and being exposed to natural environment can reduce your stress. But just by going to have a walk amidst nature is not going to help. You have to use all your senses, because generally what we do is we only use either our visual sense organ or our mouth to talk for talking. So try to use all your senses. For example, if you go in a park, try to smell the fragrance of the flowers. Use your ear to hear the chirping of the bird. Try to see things, try to feel the leaves. Don't pluck it, but you can touch them. So all your sensory organs are getting activated. So that also has a very soothing, calming effect. Now there's something called a 20-minute environmental pill. We go for all types of pill, but we don't go for the environmental pill. Especially, you can say nowadays we are living in cities where we don't have green patches in the cities, or we are not able to get fresh air. In those circumstances, what you can do, you can bring the nature inside your homes. And these days, thankfully, we have been witnessing where people try to bring small potted plants in their rooms and in their offices. Even if you have a small house and a small balcony, the balcony is filled with green plants because green plants have their own effects on your nerves. And even in the health literature, it has been seen and it has been experimentally proved if you keep green plants in the rooms of people who are trying to recover chronic diseases, the pain eases and the recovery may be more effective and more faster when there are green plants around. So, and especially when you see these modern hospitals being built, there's a lot of emphasis on the landscaping of the hospital because if there is a chronic patient being kept in a room and the room has a window overlooking the green patches, naturally it is going to have a balm, soothing and a relaxing effect on the patient. So green patches also is a very effective way of reducing stress. Now, if you cannot do either of the two, you cannot go amidst nature, or you cannot go visit a park, or you cannot bring nature in your rooms. You can do another thing which is very catching very fast, that is referred to as a white noise. What they do is that these are noises which are very consistent sounds containing all type of frequency that your human ear can hear, and these are frequencies which are both high and both low. And basically what they do, when you are living in a very noisy area, you can use these white noise to block the unwanted noise which are distracting you, and these are the soothing noises. Now, one of the way in which I know many people have done that, they have recorded the noises of nature, not noises, sorry, the sounds of nature, the sound of waves. अगर आप कभी भी समुद्र के किनारे जाएं तो जो उनकी कलकल की आवाज होती है, झरने की जो आवाज होती है, या जो वेव्स की आवाज होती है, it is very soothing and it has a very relaxing impact on your nerve. So if you cannot go all the time, you can record those voices or sounds of the waves, the wind blowing, क्योंकि विंड जब हवा बहती है उसमें भी एक आवाज होती है, अगर आप उसको भी रिकॉर्ड कर लीजिए, या फिर बर्ड्स की वॉइसेस को रिकॉर्ड कर लीजिए, या if you go in amidst nature, especially when you go in wild trekking areas, you will hear those sounds of very small insects. All those things, if you can record for yourself, and when you are feeling stressed out, you can hear those voices, play it out for yourself, and I ensure you that it is going to have a very calming effect on your nerves. This is my last slide, and what I'm saying is that successful management of stress is basically a transaction that is taking place between that which is causing the stress, which we refer stressor, your skills which are available with you, and your personality characteristics. So everything taken together is going to account for successful management with the stress. And here there's a quote by Hans Selye. He is one of the psychologists who has done a lot of research, especially the pioneering research in the area of stress, and I did not discuss him, but because I thought it was going too much into detail. So he said that adopting the right attitude can convert a negative stress into a positive one. So here it is up to your personality characteristics, up to your attitude, which is going to determine whether any stress is going to break you or make you. So the same situation can break somebody, the same situation can make somebody much stronger, much confident, and more competent. So it's up to you to decide whether you want that stress you are encountering in your life is going to break you or make you. Thank you so much. I really hope I have made some sense to you all.
Thank you, ma'am, for this wonderful session with you. I now invite participants, if you have any discussion points or any clarifications or anything which you would like to ask to the ma'am, you can ask.
Hello,
Hello.
I am audible, ma'am.
Yes, you are audible.
Ma'am, I have one question. Is any time limit when stress resulted in making errors at work?
Pardon? And
Is any time limit when stress resulted in making errors at work?
no, there's no time limit depending upon the nature of the stress. Very intense, then it is going to impact your errors. But let me tell you, it's not going to affect all types of activity. So if you are working on something which is a very mundane type of an activity which doesn't require much of your brain, then it has been seen that stress basically helps you do that particular activity. But when you are working on a very complex task which requires a lot of concentration, then in that circumstances, stress, even a mild stress is going to be having a detrimental impact on that work, and you're going to make more errors. So it depends upon the level of stress, and it also depends upon the nature of the task on which you are performing. Because in the beginning itself, I told you stress is something which is very essential in life. लाइफ में अगर स्ट्रेस नहीं होगा तो आप अच्छा परफॉर्म नहीं कर सकते, और ये आप स्पोर्ट्स के अरीना में देख सकते हैं कि sports personalities are giving their best performance only when they are in a very tight situation, when they are competing with the best. So if a Hussein Bolt is trying to just compete with his own time, he also has somebody else with whom he is competing. So if he tries to increase his time or decrease his time limit, then he might not be able to perform very well. So you need that stressor in your life to give your best. और आप ये अपनी लाइफ में देख लीजिएगा, आपने अपनी लाइफ में बेस्ट तभी दिया होगा जब आप स्ट्रेस में रहे होंगे. Some people perform very well when they are in stressful situation. But when you're working in a cognitively complex task, then stress has a detrimental impact on your task, and you have more chances of making errors. So that the signal detection being done by the signal man on the tracks or on your people who are doing signal detection, even a small amount of stress is going to have a huge consequences, because if he is not able to detect a small signal, two trains might collide, So depending upon the nature of your job and the nature of the task, the error is going to be likewise.
Thank you, ma'am.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon.
Ma'am, what are the root causes of mental stress? Causes may vary from individual to individual, but what are the main causes, common causes?
It varies from individual to individual, but the main causes are the pressures of your life. Too much of expectation from yourself, too much of others expecting from you. आप देख रहे होंगे, especially in Rajasthan. Yes. And these coaching center, how students are not able to cope up with the expectations that they have from themselves or the parents are having. So आप सोचते होंगे क्यों उन्होंने suicide attempt कर लिया? एक साल फेल ही तो हुए हैं, एंड फेलियर को अगर आप जिंदगी से नापेंगे तो नेचुरली फेलियर बहुत छोटी सी चीज है, लाइफ बहुत बड़ी चीज है, बट फॉर डिफरेंट इंडिविजुअल इट इज गोइंग टू बी different things, but the common things are naturally the way our life is being restructured. Initially we had a support system in place, now we don't have those support system. अगर आपको एक छोटी सी प्रॉब्लम होगी तो आपके पास आपके फोन में या आपके फेसबुक पे फ्रेंड्स की लिस्ट तो बहुत लंबी होगी, आपको शायद ढूंढने में बहुत प्रॉब्लम होगी किस फ्रेंड को अप्रोच करेंगे. So those changes that are occurring in the and the occurring. अगर आप अपने ही पहले पेरेंट्स से बात करें, से बात करें, वो कहते हैं मेरे जमाने में ऐसा होता था. अगर आप अपने बच्चे से बात करेंगे तो आपके जमाने में तो 2 सदी वाले चेंज तो ऑलरेडी आ चुके हैं, और शायद अगर आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस आ जाएगा तो यू रियली डोंट नो व्हाट इज गोइंग टू कम योर वे. सो चेंज इतनी ड्रास्टिकली आ रहा है कि जो चीज हमने सीखी है, फॉर एग्जाम्पल जो बिहेवियरल पैटर्न मैंने सीखा अपने बचपन में कि ये हमें काम हेल्प करेगा लाइफ में. जब हम लाइफ जीने आए तो वो चीज हमारे लिए काम नहीं कर रही, बिकॉज नाउ सोसाइटी इज डिमांडिंग अ डिफरेंट पैटर्न, डिफरेंट बिहेवियर स्टाइल फ्रॉम यू. It might demand a different style from you. So जो ये इतना ज्यादा फास्ट चेंज इन सोसाइटी आ रहा है, which is demanding. और आपने देखा होगा कुछ लोग होते हैं वो बहुत रिजिड होते हैं कि नहीं मैं तो नहीं चेंज करने वाला, चाहे कुछ भी हो जाए. वो लोग ज्यादा सफर करते हैं, बिकॉज यू कैन नॉट अफोर्ड टू इग्नोर चेंज, बिकॉज दुनिया आगे बढ़ जाएगी और आपके लिए वेट नहीं करने वाली. सो दैट द पेस दैट यू आर फोर्स टू, एक तरह से जो रेस में आपको फोर्स किया जा रहा है, मजबूर किया जा रहा है, वो एक तरह से स्ट्रेस सारे हर इंसान के लिए क्रिएट कर रही है.
Good afternoon, madam.
I hope I have.
Hello.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes,
madam.
go ahead.
Yeah, this is Sharma from Matrish Engineering, Hyderabad, madam. Madam, whatever you said is very much correct. Positive stress must be there. In the stressful situation itself, people will do, they excel in their job. I am one of the best examples for that. And one more thing, madam, nowadays, struggle for existence situations have come. So, because of the struggle for existence, we cannot compare always the situations with the olden days and all these. And expectations, people are setting expectations. They are only setting these you can expect from me. And next level, they are setting themselves. Instead of others setting the management, other side they are setting, people itself, they are setting the situations. So such conditions, they are themselves beyond their capability. They have to struggle, work hard so that they can stay, they can exist in the present situation. In such situations, what is a better way to communicate, whether there must be different levels of the stress management to the management level and next level, and everybody should have that idea, na?
Yes, definitely. There cannot be a one strategy that fits all. So it has to be at various levels. You have to have different levels of strategies in place. And I think most of the, especially I know about these software giants, they have sessions of stress management. A very simple example, some institutes, they have music as a stress management strategy. Some have play activities. It's just a way of unwinding yourself. You know, so at different levels, it's not that your managers are not under stress or your top bosses are not under stress, because most of the wear and tear are happening among the highest echelons of leadership, because they are also under a lot of pressure. It's just that they have the power, and so you might feel that they might not be going under stress, but they also are dealing with a very fluid type of situation. One day things are very normal, yet tomorrow it might be in a flux. So they are also under pressure. So you need a different variety of strategy for them, a different variety for your children, a different variety for yourself. But what I would all our necessarily get into the stressful situation, especially in terms of profession. Now, if somebody is going higher in the hierarchy and I'm getting stressed by it and I'm not doing anything but I'm getting stressed by it, then I think you are torturing yourself, because you should be competing with other people, but you should also be competing with yourself. So the moment you start competing with yourself, you start growing as an individual, because you know, and activity with ourselves.